Hi, in this short series of videos I'm going to be introducing an alternative political stroke economic idea of mine for the world that is called strict equality. That's what I've decided to call it. Okay, yeah, it's a pretty alternative system, so it's a bit, you could call it utopian. I don't mind the word utopian myself, to be honest. It doesn't have to be a bad thing in my book. Basically, first of all, before I go into the details of what the system is in the next video, let me tell you just a little bit of general background of how I've come to think of this thing. Yeah, basically I like utopianism. I've always kind of dreamt of been interested in dreaming up different societies, even before I had the kind of left-wing political views that I have now. But I think it's something there may be other better, more useful ways of thinking or whatever, but utopianism is something that I seem to find myself doing, or something I enjoy doing, so that's part of the reason I'm doing it. I seem to be able to do it and enjoy doing it. People don't always like utopianism, though. It tends to get a pretty bad reaction out of a lot of people. I think one of the reasons for this is it's just a bit of a negative bias. It's easier to knock things down, and utopians are clearly suggesting stuff. They're being positive, so it's quite easy to knock them down. Whereas a lot of other kind of political radicals are just really just into knocking stuff themselves. Another thing about utopianism, I think, should be stressed as an argument for it, is that if you've got a radical different system that sounds vaguely likely to work, maybe not, maybe unlikely to work, but seems to have a chance of working, then why not try it? If it really doesn't work very well, then it should be pretty short-lived, if we've got any sense. But if it does work, then it should be very long-lived. So there isn't. There seems to be a reason to try even like systems that don't sound that great, because you can always cut your losses. The benefits seem to outweigh the losses, I would have thought, in most cases. Another point in at least talking about utopian things is that as with dystopias like George Orwell's 1984, these extreme ideas can often make you think, and the extreme can kind of shed light on the less extreme situations. People often quote 1984, even though people know it never really it doesn't tend to happen in that extreme a form, at least luckily not yet. There's that. Okay, so this idea is one reason I'm sharing it with you all is to hear whether something similar has been tried. I mean, I think I'd be interested to hear if there's something similar has been tried. This idea doesn't require any major technology or anything, so it could have been tried at any kind of point in the last thousands of years. So be interested to hear that, and I'd like to get involved in if it has already happened. Actually, there is a similar system called Paracon, which actually did inspire this system. As I said, I've always been a bit of a utopian, and about 6 or 7 years ago, I found this book Paracon in a bookshop, and never heard of it before. And it was claiming to be this alternative system and everything, so I thought, wow, gotta just buy this straight away. I was actually a little bit disappointed in the system, but I really appreciated the guts of like coming up with a new system. I'm thinking that that for the reasons I just mentioned, to be doing the utopian thing. But actually, I also found it challenged me to try and think of my own systems. If I thought that wasn't a good one, then what do I think is a good one? Our current system, or something else. So it really got me on the road to thinking of this stuff. But finally, after a while, I really kind of came around to thinking along the same lines as Paracon and respecting it a lot more. I just wasn't quite ready for some of the ideas in it, I think. Okay, last point I'll make before I go on to actually describing the system in the next video is that I really don't want to be pushy about this system. I mean, if everybody just comes up with a different system and is really pushy about it, then it's just going to be just add to problems in the world, or make change less likely to happen. So it's really important to have solidarity with people with slightly different ideas and see the merits in these other ideas. I'm actually involved in the Paracon movement because I think it's basically, on the whole, good. And we're never going to find out we're never going to have a perfect system or have a perfect movement that we all agree with. So we got to compromise and be positive about each other. Okay, so the next video, also I'm going to describe the system, and then towards the end of this little short series, I'll come up with a few try and answer a few criticisms and try and justify why I've come up with this radical thing. So okay, I hope you enjoy this series. Thanks.